Hi there. Today I'm going to talk to you about 2 ways to apply general purpose fertilizer at the start of the season. So I'm based in Ireland and this is February and I'm applying my first feed to my shrubs and trees right now, and that's a good time for anybody in a similar area to do it. My name is Rebecca and this is the Busy Woman's Garden, and I like to help busy women find easy ways to have a lovely garden to escape to. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the type of fertilizer I'm using. So it's chicken manure pellets that I use. There are other general purpose ones. So if you're shopping for them and can't see chicken manure pellets, or that's not what you prefer to use, you're looking for a general purpose, slow release, dry fertilizer. So you can see it there. That's what they are. They're just little pellets. I'll put them here on the lid. So you can see there what they look like. And they're just dry little nuggets. They are totally stink. So if you had smell-o-vision, you'd be able to see that. And the reason why I use these is because they have the best balance to provide a general all-round feed to the plants at this time of year. So most fertilizers are made up of 3 main components. So nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. And this one is equally balanced. So you're trying to grow all the different parts of the plant. So that's the root, the leaves and the flowers. And what you need to do with it is, there's 2 ways. The first way I'm going to show you is spot applying it. So as you can see, I'm in a shrubbery here that I have, and it's a big area and the plants are quite far apart. So what I do is apply a little bit to each plant. So when you're trying to figure out, first of all, how much to apply, the recommendation will be on your fertilizer. For this one, they say about 3 or 4 handfuls per square meter. But because you're spot applying, you kind of have to use your judgment to figure out how much to do. So this plant is approximately, this little shrub, it's not that long in, is only about, I'm looking at it, they're about 70 centimeters across. So it's not going to make up a square meter. So 2 or 3 handfuls, like not huge amounts, of the chicken manure pellets for this plant are plenty. If you're trying to figure out, so that's how much. If you're trying to figure out where to apply it, there's a couple of rules of thumb about that. So generally speaking, most plants, their root systems mirror the shape of the plant underneath the ground. So if you can imagine, the reflection of this plant underneath the ground is going to take up a similar sort of circumference. So that's where you're applying the feed, not right in at the neck of it. Generally speaking, around the edges of it, because that's where the ends of the roots are picking up the nutrients from. And you don't apply it, it shouldn't really touch any parts of the plant. It should just be on the ground, on the soil. You're not feeding the plant, you're feeding the soil. And of course, you definitely need to wear gloves. You'll want to with this anyway, because it's so smelly. But with any fertilizer, you should definitely wear gloves. So in this case, you can see there's a heavy bark mulch applied, well, a wood chip mulch applied to this bed. And to make sure that you're, actually getting the nutrients down to the plant, I'm going to pull back as much as I can at the top layer of that mulch. Obviously, you don't want to disturb the roots of the plant, so you're doing it carefully. And I'll do that all the way around it. Just in a little ring. This is a lovely, actually, Spirea japonica. It's just coming into leaf now. So it's a lovely kind of a, actually the colour that's on it there, kind of a coppery colour, peachy. There's a chance to pull up a few weeds. Now, look, you don't have to be perfect about it. Okay, and then you sprinkle them on. So as I say, for this size of a plant, I'm going to put on approximately 3 handfuls. Look, I'm not measuring them to make sure, but around 3 handfuls. And then I just replace the mulch back over it again. You can work them in a little bit into the soil. It just stops them getting blown away or any little creatures coming after them. I'm just using this little claw, or you could use a rake or a little hand fork. Now, this looks like it's going to take ages, but it's, you know, quite quick when you get going at it. And it's definitely one for the kids where at least, even if you don't want them touching the fertilizer, you can definitely have them pulling back the mulch if you have it. If you don't have mulch, it's even easier. All you need to do is just sprinkle it down and then work it in. And definitely my kids are good at the working it in part. That sort of rummaging around in the soil is probably their forte. And then the last step is a step that doesn't often apply where I live in Ireland because it's so wet, but for people based elsewhere, the last step is to give it a light watering, to water it in. And actually I see I didn't cover up some parts of it over there. And that's it. So that's the first way that you can use this material to give your plants a boost. And they generally recommend to give it another feed in about a month's time. And that's it then. You can do another one in early summer. I don't usually bother, but you can if you like. And that's the end of this part of the video. And I'm going to go over now to one of my other beds where I'll show you where I apply it across a wider area and how I do that. Okay, so I'm back here now at a border where I'm going to apply my general purpose fertilizer again. It's the same one I'm using here, chicken manure pellets. Okay, so in this area here that you're going to see on the video, it's about 1.5 meters square, give or take. And I haven't got out a ruler, I am eyeballing it, but I guess it's around 1.5 meters. So this area would take, you know, 4 or 5 good handfuls. Again, you're trying not to get it on the foliage, you're trying to keep it around the base of the plants. It's a good idea to try and have the area weeded in advance. You don't want to feed the weeds, that's only going to make things worse. And all you do is scatter it around the plants. As I say, trying to keep off the weeds, you're just feeding the soil all around. That's 2. And in this bed, I have some asters, I have some spring bulbs, I have some heucheras and ornamental grasses. And this is perfect for all of those, which is kind of the beauty of this. So we have one last little bit over this side and another little bit up here. Yeah, because I think I have a few bulbs stuck up in the corner up there. And then same thing again, use I'm using this little claw because I'm down here showing it to you. But if I was doing it myself, I'd probably use just a hoe to loosen up the soil and rake in what I can of the chicken manure pellets. It doesn't matter if they're not fully buried or anything. You're just trying to work them in a little bit and try not to damage your plants as you go along with it. And when you are happy that you've got enough of that done, get the little weed out. Do this little bit here, another weed. It's amazing how they survive all the cold weather. Okay, that's not too bad. Could probably do another bit of raking, but you get the idea for the purposes of the video. So when you've it raked in, then the last thing you do is get your watering can, if you're not in a rain area, and give it a little light water. It's all you're doing really is settling the pellets into the soil. You're not trying to liquidize them or anything like that. So that little sprinkle that you saw me give them there, that's all that you need to do. And that should set up your plants for loads of lush growth in the coming spring. And I'd love to hear in the comments what you use or any other tips you have. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I have a video coming every week now. And also join us in the Facebook group because we do lots of chats. I do live chats on a Tuesday and I'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.